Investiture of the Gods, Chapter 40.
Okay, so let's unpack that starting point. We just came off a Zhu victory. Ziya, used his, unique abilities to thaw Qishan. That massive ice sheet that had frozen literally thousands of Shang soldiers.
Sure.
It was decisive, yeah, but the source is clear it wasn't clean. We're talking 2, maybe 3,000 troops dead in that thaw.
A huge loss. And what's really interesting, as you said, is the follow-up. It wasn't just a military cleanup. It was, almost ceremonial, wasn't it?
Exactly. King Wu gets invited straight to Qishan, not just for a victory lap, but for an execution. 3 prisoners, including those really infamous Shang traitors, Fei Zong and Yu Hun.
Yeah, the ultimate price for treachery. The sources highlight Ziya calling them cunning, traitorous ministers, deserving their fate, in his view.
But here's the kicker, the part that signals the shift we're talking about. As soon as they're executed, their souls, they don't just vanish.
No, not at all. The text is quite specific. A messenger from the Investiture platform shows up immediately and guides their souls right into the Fengshen Tai, the Investiture of the Gods platform.
So this confirms it. This war isn't just land grabs and battles. It's fulfilling some kind of divine checklist.
Right. Ziya's not just a general. He's like a celestial recruitment officer. Every major death potentially adds to this divine bureaucracy he's building.
Cosmic stakes indeed. Okay, so meanwhile, back in the Shan camp, Grand Tutor Wen gets the news. He's already lost generals like Zhang Yifang, the Taoists. Now Lu Shong is executed too. He must be thinking, okay, the usual playbook isn't working.
Definitely. His standard strategies, even with powerful allies, are failing against Ziya and the Zhu forces. The sources suggest he knows he needs something completely different, something that goes beyond normal tactics, beyond even the magic they've used before.
Which brings us to the urgent call for help. Wen asks his advisors, Ji Li and Yu King, who can possibly stop Ziya now? And they offer up a name. The Mo family 4 generals.
The Mo Jia Si Jiang, stationed way out at Jiaming Pass.
And the advisors, they're pretty blunt about it, right? They say basically, like, everyone else failed, even the 4 Taoists of Nine Dragon Island. These 4 are our last best hope.
They're Wen's ace in the hole, his ultimate contingency.
But these generals, they don't seem too worried. The sources say when they get the summons, they just laugh.
Yeah, pure arrogance. They apparently think Ziya, Huang Feihu, all the Zhu heroes, they're so insignificant that sending them, the Mo brothers, is like, and this is a quote, using an ox knife to kill a chicken.
Overkill. Massive overkill in their minds. But they don't waste time.
No, despite the laughter, they mobilize fast. 100,000 elite troops. And their arrival at the West Qi North Gate. It's described as a really impressive military site. Banners, spears, perfect formations, textbook stuff.
A terrifying sight for any normal army. But then, things take a turn. Huan Feihu steps forward, the martial lord. And he's got an intel report that basically makes those 100,000 troops irrelevant.
This is crucial. Huang Feihu knows these guys. He tells Ziya, I commanded them once during the Eastern Sea campaign. And he says, look, these aren't just soldiers. They have, and I quote, exotic secret arts of transformation.
Exotic secret arts. Okay, so this is the pivot you mentioned. Forget army versus army.
Exactly. It doesn't matter if Ziya has 10,000 men or 100,000. They're not really fighting the Shang army anymore. They're fighting 4 specific individuals armed with, doomsday devices.
We literally went from freezing rain to guys carrying, like, pocket universes. That's a massive escalation. Let's get into these details because the threat isn't the army, it's these specific artifacts.
Okay, let's catalog them. First up, Mo licking. The giant.
How giant are we talking?
The source says 24 feet tall, face like a live crab, copper wire whiskers, a real imposing figure.
Okay, and his weapon.
He wields the green cloud sword, the King Yangjian, and it's inscribed with 4 characters representing earth, water, fire, and wind. Primal elements.
And how does it work?
Pure devastation, as you said. Activate wind, and it unleashes a black gale filled with thousands of spears. Just shreds victims to powder. Activate fire, and you get golden snakes, black smoke that blinds you, and raging flames that just consume everything. No defense possible, apparently. It's targeted elemental destruction.
Wow. Okay, 1 down, 3 to go. Who's next?
Next is Mo Lihong. He's sometimes called the wielder of the cosmos. His artifact is the primordial chaos umbrella, the Hun Yuan Sun.
An umbrella? Seriously?
Not just any umbrella. It's covered in all sorts of magical pearls, night shining pearls, mother jade pearls, fire pearls, water pearls, you name it. But the key bit is inside. Strung in pearls are the 4 words, contains the universe.
Contains the. Okay, so we're not talking about keeping the rain off.
Definitely not. The text warns it cannot be opened lightly. When it is opened, heaven and earth dim, the sun and moon lose their light. It's an instant environmental shutdown.
That's bad enough.
But wait, there's more. The real danger is when he turns it. Turning the umbrella apparently causes the entire cosmos to shake. This isn't just a weapon, it's like a reality control device. It defeats armies by just messing with their whole existence.
Unbelievable. All right, number 3.
Molihai. He carries a spear, but his main magical tool is a pipa. That's a kind of Chinese lute, which he carries on his back.
A musical instrument?
Yep. And like the sword, its 4 strings are aligned to the elements: earth, water, fire, and wind.
So similar powers.
Very similar to the sword, actually. Plucking the strings instantly summons wind and fire. It seems like tactical redundancy, you know? They didn't put all their elemental eggs in one basket.
Smart in a terrifying way. Beautiful instrument, immediate chaos. Okay, the last one. This is the one people always remember, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Moli Shu. He uses 2 whips in combat, seemingly normal enough, but his real power comes from a pouch he carries.
The pouch.
Yeah.
What's in the pouch?
The flower fox ferret. Huahu Diao.
A ferret. They brought a magical ferret to a cosmic war.
Sort of. It starts as a ferret, but when Molishu releases it from the pouch, it instantly transforms into a gigantic white elephant that sprouts wings.
A flying white elephant, okay. And what does the flying white elephant do?
The source text is chillingly brief on this point. It says the creature eats all the people in the world.
Eats all the people, right. So, just to recap, a 24-foot giant with an elemental sword, a guy with a universe-shaking umbrella, a musician summoning firestorms, and a man with a pet ferret that turns into a flying, world-eating elephant.
That about sums it up. You can see why Huang Feihu was worried.
Yeah, understatement of the millennia. So how does Ziya take this news? He just achieved this clever victory with the ice. Now this.
The sources say he becomes melancholy and unhappy. He immediately grasps the implications. Huang Feihu's intel isn't just alarming. It confirms that the Zhu army, as it stands, is unable to secure victory.
All his strategy, his cleverness,
Yeah.
it's almost useless against this level of sheer, bizarre power.
Exactly. Those 100,000 troops the Mo brothers brought, they're almost window dressing. The real threat, the entire focus of the conflict now, shifts to these 4 brothers and their artifacts. They showed up looking incredibly confident.
And they had every reason to be, as it turned out. But interestingly, before all that chaos kicked off, there was some debate on the Zhu's side.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Ziya, the commander himself, he was actually hesitant. He didn't really want to march out right away.
Based on what?
On advice he got from General Huang Feihu. You know, caution, understanding the potential danger there.
Okay, so sound military advice maybe. But he was overawed.
He was, by his disciples, Jinza, Muza, Niza. They basically convinced him. Their argument was, well, you can't just rely on standard tactics when you've got divine backing.
Ah, the mandate of heaven argument.
Pretty much. They talked about Zhu's, Fude, and Tianyi.
Right. Fude being accumulated virtue or merit, and Tianyi is the divine will, heaven's mandate.
Exactly. So the disciples were basically saying, look, destiny's on our side. We have to act now, whatever the risks seem to be.
Okay. So that divine confidence, or maybe overconfidence, it leads them out. And then we get this pre-battle exchange. A bit of propaganda.
Oh, yeah, right at the front lines.
Yeah.
When Ziya finally gets his army outside West Chi, Mo Licking doesn't exactly roll out the welcome mat.
He lays into him, right?
Fiercely. Publicly calls Ziya a rebel, says he's destroying court law, harboring traitors, meaning Huang Feihu, and just generally committing deeply unrighteous acts.
Wow.
And the threat was blunt: surrender now, or your city walls become dust, your people minced meat.
Classic political theater. Strong stuff. How does Ziya respond?
Well, his counter was pretty clever, actually. He didn't deny there was conflict, but he denied he was the rebel.
Oh, how'd he spin that?
He insisted they were still faithful former ministers of Shang, that they were following the law. He blamed the whole conflict on the Shang King's ministers making mistakes. Zha was just, standing on principle.
So claiming the moral high ground while mobilizing for war.
It's a neat trick, isn't it? Claiming victimhood and legality right before battle.
And their setup, their deployment, it looked impressive, didn't it? The text really paints a picture.
It does. Very disciplined. Those 5-direction flags, green, white, red, black, apricot yellow. A big visual display.
And all the key players are there. Nangang Shi, Wu Ji, the disciples, Jinza, Muza, Neza Longzuhu, even King Wu Chang on his divine ox.
The text mentions the generals were neatly dressed, like a clever fox stronger than a tiger. They looked ready.
Ready for a conventional fight, maybe?
Exactly. Ready for a fight, you win, with discipline, with steel. And for a little while, that's exactly what they got.
Right, the initial clash was pure conventional combat.
Yeah.
And it was pretty intense, yeah.
Oh, yeah. The sources say this went on for quite a while. From the morning, the hour of Chen, right through to late afternoon, Shenshu, hours of fighting.
A real test of skill? Who was fighting whom?
We had some good matchups. Lan Gongxi with his knife against Mo Liqin's spear, Xinjie with a big axe versus Mo Lihong's halberd. Then Neza, the young firebrand, he was up against Mo Lihai, both with spears, and Wu Ji fighting Mo Lishu, who had those two maces.
So, balanced duels. Fierce, conventional fighting.
Absolutely. A real storm of normal weaponry. But then, things changed. Very suddenly.
How does the text describe it?
It just says, suddenly the sky was dark and the earth was gloomy. And that's it. That's the moment human skill stops mattering.
And the artifacts come out.
Artifact power takes over completely. And the key piece, the pivot, was Mo Lihong's weapon.
The umbrella.
The primordial pearl umbrella. The Hunyuan Zenzu San, it's both defensive and offensive. Massive game changer.
So what happened first? Neza?
Yeah, Neza seems to get frustrated. The fight's a stalemate. So he escalates, throws his big weapon, the cosmic ring, the Qian Kun Quan.
Which should be pretty devastating normally.
Normally, yes.
Yeah.
But before it even gets close, Mo Lihong just opened his umbrella, and the text is clear. He doesn't just block it, he captures it.
He captures it, just gone.
Gone. Sucked into the umbrella, neutralized instantly.
Wow. Okay, what about the others?
Well, Jinza sees this and tries next. He throws his artifact, the evasion stake, the Dunlang Zhuang, maybe hoping to overwhelm Mo Lihong. Same thing. The umbrella just takes it. Captured. Gone.
So wait, in just a few seconds, two of Ziya's best magical fighters are basically disarmed by one defensive artifact?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And Ziya sees this, obviously understands how bad this is, and decides he has to use his ace.
The god-beating whip, the Shenbian.
His ultimate weapon. He throws it up, probably expecting it to sort things out, Destiny's tool.
But it doesn't work.
It fails.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah.
And this is maybe the biggest blunder of the whole fight.
Why did it fail? I thought it could hit any supernatural being messing with the zoo cause.
Well, that's the brilliant, kind of frustrating loophole in the source material. The whip can hit gods, capital G gods, beings who are formally recognized, receiving worship, incense.
Okay.
But it can't hit powerful immortals who aren't gods yet, or just plain humans, even magically capable ones.
And the Mo brothers?
They're described as Buddhist sect people. Immensely powerful, yes, but not gods yet. That status, according to the text, wouldn't come for centuries. They weren't receiving incense, so they were immune.
Immune because of a timing and classification issue, a religious technicality.
Exactly. Ziya's ultimate weapon, the one tied to his divine mandate, is useless because of a subtle point of celestial bureaucracy.
That's incredible. And I assume the umbrella.
Yep. Capture the god-beating whip, too. Just like the others. Ziya is now totally exposed. His best defensive magic is gone.
And that's when the real storm hits.
That's when the four heavenly kings unleash everything. It's not one attack, it's coordinated magical overkill. 4 artifacts all at once.
Okay, let's break this down. This is the core of the disaster.
No.
What did Mo Liqing do?
Mo Liqing waved his sword, the azure cloud sword, King Yangjian, just 3 times. And this summoned a black wind. But it wasn't just wind.
Oh.
It was filled with, and this is a quote, 10,000 knives, spears, and pole weapons. Like an aerial storm of sharp metal. The text says it wounded millions.
Millions. Just from the wind. Okay, what next?
Mo Lihong, with the umbrella. He wasn't done. He turned it again. This time, the universe goes dark, things start collapsing, there's merciless fire everywhere. The text mentions golden snakes coiling in the air, probably lightning, and fire just raining down, total environmental chaos.
Dark fire, collapsing reality,
Yeah.
and then the pipa.
Right, Mo Lihai starts playing his magical lute, the pipa. And this doesn't just make noise, it unleashes the raw forces of the elements. Earth, water, fire, and wind. Just pure elemental chaos added to the mix.
Knives in the wind, dark fire, elemental chaos. Anything else?
Oh yes. One more thing. Mo Lishu releases his creature, the flowery fox mink, the Wahoo Diao.
A mink.
Well, it manifests as a giant man-eating white elephant. So you've got this biological horror rampaging through the elemental storm and the flying weapons.
Okay, yeah. No army survives that. That's just total annihilation.
Exactly. The zoo forces just disintegrated instantly. The description of the aftermath is brutal.
Tell us, what does the source say?
Soldiers with burnt faces, scorched heads, broken bones everywhere, corpses piled up. The retreat wasn't even a retreat, it was a panic. Horses without saddles, generals wounded and fleeing. Just utter chaos.
And the casualties, we have numbers, right? This wasn't just a tactical loss, it was political.
Oh, massively political. The numbers are staggering, and you can feel Ziya's grief in the recounting. Over 10,000 Zhu soldiers lost.
10,000, that's huge.
The 9 leading generals killed. But here's the really devastating part, the political stab wound.
What's that?
6 of King Wen's own sons, 6 princes killed, along with 3 deputy generals.
Just princes in one battle.
6. The future leadership of the dynasty basically wiped out in an afternoon. And the source adds, almost tragically, that of the leaders who did survive, 10 out of 10 were injured. Nobody escaped unharmed.
A dynastic catastrophe, losing 6 royal heirs. That changes everything, doesn't it? Far beyond just losing a battle.
It's an unimaginable blow to their entire political project. And you see who survives.
The ones with magic getaways.
Right. Ziya escapes on his divine mount, the 4 know alike. Jinza and Muza use the earth escape Tudun. Niza zooms off on his windfire wheels. Longzuhu uses a water escape.
But the regular soldiers, the non-magical generals, even the princes...
They were just left to the fire, the knives, the elephant. It's a stark contrast.
There's that imagery comparison, too, isn't there? How they started versus how they ended.
Yes, perfect summary. Started the day neatly dressed like a clever fox, stronger than a tiger. Looked invincible.
And ended.
Ended retreating like a plucked phoenix, no better than a chicken. Utterly broken. This battle just proved, beyond any doubt, that the Mo family's magic was simply on another level. Conventional tactics, numbers, discipline meant nothing. Okay. So Mo Lihong, his first thought is basically, let's just hit him hard, mass force, assault the walls. He figures the city, quote, can be broken in days. Simple, swift.
Plan be quick.
But Ziya, well, he'd just taken a loss, some key people were injured. He knew a straight-up fight wasn't going to work.
Right. So Ziya's first move, it's actually brilliant, really simple. He hangs up the Mianzan Pai, the shield of exemption from battle.
A sign saying, we're not fighting.
Pretty much. A clear signal, no engagement. But the Mali generals, they just ignore it. They push ahead anyway. Yeah. Ladders, fire cannons, just brute force siege tactics. But Jiki holds. Ziya, with Huang Feihu and the others still standing, they rally the defense. And it's basic stuff, really. Ash pots, cannon stones.
Classic.
Yeah. Rockets, hard crossbows. The generals attack for 3 straight days, nonstop. But they get pushed back. They actually lose troops, so they have to retreat.
And that failure, that initial setback, it forces them to totally rethink things. If brute force doesn't work, why not?
They pivot fast. They acknowledge Ziya's good, sure, but they pin it on his background, his connections.
Oh, right. They realize Zheng Shang Mai Kunlun Jiao Xia.
That phrase changes everything for them. It means, okay, this guy Ziya isn't just some general.
He's
part of that whole Kunlun spiritual tradition. They realize they're not just fighting a city, they're up against a divine school. So brute force, Yongli Gongda, is pointless.
So they shift tactics completely.
Immediately. They go for attrition, a tight siege, Jinkun.
So the goal isn't conquest anymore, it's endurance. Starve them out.
Exactly. Make sure the city has Liu Lian Kao Wei Wu Yuan Bing, no food inside, no help coming from outside.
A waiting game.
Yeah.
That's a big shift. And this slow siege, it lasts for 2 months.
2 months. And, you know, a siege like that, it's incredibly expensive. We're talking 100,000 troops. The daily cost is just huge. They start getting edgy, worrying about, you know, their own careers, what Grand Tutor Wen would say about the lack of progress. This wasn't quick, and now it was getting seriously costly. They felt they had to end it now.
Right, the pressure's mounting, the cost is too high, so they decide, okay, enough with the soldier stuff, time to fight like gods. Here's where it gets really interesting. They plan this coordinated midnight attack, and they're bringing out the big guns, their exotic treasures. The plan is literally to use this focused supernatural power to whirl Jiki into the Bohai Sea. Just wipe it off the map.
Yeah, this is pure escalation. Yeah. Existential threat. And we need to understand just how powerful these items were. Moli King's blue cloud sword. It wasn't just a sword. It channeled destructive elements. Earth, water, fire, wind.
All 4.
All 4. Moli Hai had his pipo, the lute. Its music could literally shake your spirit, cause chaos. And then Moli Hong's mixed yuan pearl umbrella. That was something else entirely.
The Hunyuan Zusan. That umbrella. The sources make it sound terrifying, not just a shield.
No, not at all. It could supposedly invert the 5 elements, control cosmic forces. We're talking reality-bending levels of power, utter destruction.
And then you add Moli shows Flower Fox Mink, the soul-eating weasel thing.
Right. Combine all four. It's a coordinated cosmic assault.
Oh.
And the descriptions in the source, pure terror. Cold fog, dark clouds filling the air. The sound is like thunder, like mountains collapsing, like the ground itself is splitting open.
This wasn't about defeating an army.
No, this is about annihilation. Erasing Shiki from existence.
And Ziya, he gets the message instantly. He's in his command post, and the ritual banner pool just snaps into clear omen, terrifying.
Can you imagine?
He reacts immediately, burns incense, gets out the gold coins, the 8 trigrams, does the I Ching reading, and the result, it leaves his face, quote, like dirt, pure fear.
He knows conventional defense is useless now, totally irrelevant. His reaction tells you everything. He bathes, changes his clothes, kneels facing Kunlun, and starts this emergency prayer ritual.
Praying for help.
He tries invoking the reversing the sea technique himself to shield Shiki.
But even Ziya's power isn't enough against these 4 artifacts working together.
Not even close. And this is the key moment. Yuanqi Tianzun, Ziya's own master, one of the absolute top deities in their tradition, steps in directly.
From Yangjian Palace.
Yes. The source says Yuanqi Tianzun pours quiet water, Jing Shui, from a glazed vase down onto the city. And this water instantly transforms into the 3 lights sacred, Sangguang Shinsheng. It just floats there on the sea, Ziya summoned. This isn't Ziya's magic anymore.
This is the boss stepping in.
This is his master reinforcing the shield. The whole Kunlun hierarchy protecting its own, protecting Zhiqing.
So the Mo generals, they unleash everything they've got.
Yeah.
All night until like 3 a.m. They think they've won.
They go back to camp, totally exhausted, but, feeling triumphant. Victory at last.
But the next morning, the scouts go out, and the report comes back. The city, completely untouched.
Not even a blade of grass moved. That's the quote.
Incredible. Their ultimate magical attack, this coordinated cosmic strike. It was just Yi Changkongshan, wasted effort, a total war.
And the siege just continues.
So connecting the dots here, the magic failed, okay.
Yeah.
But the original plan, the attrition strategy, that's still very much in play.
Exactly. The physical city is fine, but the siege is still on.
Yeah.
And now it drags on for another 2 months. So we're looking at almost 4 months total blockade by this point.
4 months. Okay, now the resources must be getting low.
Yeah.
And this leads to the real crunch time, right?
Absolutely. The commissary officer comes to Ziya with the bad news. The 3 backup granaries, almost empty, maybe 10 days of grain left.
Some days.
And Ziya sees this immediately. This is the real threat now, bigger than the generals outside. He says it himself. Lack of grain in the city, that's the great disaster.
So what do? This feels like a moment of truth for the leadership.
It really is. And Yellow Feihu Huang Feihu, the martial king, he comes up with a very practical, logical solution. He says, look, let's just issue a proclamation. Borrow grain from the wealthy citizens. Promise to pay them back with interest. It makes sense, right? Solves the immediate problem.
Yeah, that sounds perfectly reasonable. Borrow now, pay back later when you win.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't Ziya jump at that? What's the catch?
The catch is psychology. It's politics. Ziya gets it instantly. If he issues that proclamation, even promising repayment...
Panic.
Panic. Total panic among the people. But maybe even worse, it signals desperation. It tells the army, we're on our last legs. And that, Ziya fears, leads to mutiny. It leads to what he calls the Nebian Zihu.
The disaster of internal change. Civil unrest. Collapse from within.
Precisely. So he wasn't just trying to manage grain supplies. He was trying to manage morale, faith, trust in his leadership. He absolutely refuses to issue that order.
Wow. So he holds the line.
Yeah.
On principle. Even as the grain dwindles down to, 2 days left?
2 days.
That feels less like patience and more like, taking a massive gamble.
Yeah.
Pushing the city right to the edge of starvation.
Is that reckless?
Strategically.
Yeah. You could see it that way. But from Ziya's perspective, it was faith. His patience wasn't just stubbornness. It was rooted in 2 things. 1, his master's prophecy that help would come. And 2, his core strategic belief. Internal stability is everything. You cannot trade the trust of your people for a short-term fix. He believed their righteous cause, King Wu's cause, would ultimately be vindicated.
He bet everything on that faith.
He did. And just as they hit that 2-day mark, his faith pays off dramatically.
Okay, this is the arrival.
Yes. 2 young Taoist boys show up, Han Dulong and Shuihu. They're disciples of another master, Daojing Tianzun, and they have a letter.
The letter says,
it confirms Ziya's own master's prophecy. In times of danger, there will naturally be wise people to assist. Basically, help has arrived.
And the help they bring is the
grain. It's the grain. But the way it happens is just unbelievable. The boys pull out this tiny scoop The text calls it a dewar, like a bowl-sized measuring scoop,
Yeah.
filled with rice from just a simple leopard skin bag. Ziya tells one of the boys, okay, go to the warehouse.
And in less than 2 shichen, so under 2 hours.
The warehouse isn't just full, it's overflowing.
Overflowing.
The source gives this amazing detail. The rice is pouring out of the ventilation towers on the roof. Lian Qilu Shang, Du Tang Ju Mi Lai.
Wow. Rice pouring out the vents. That's not just enough grain. That's
Miraculous abundance, an inexhaustible supply. And the source is really clear here. It says this logistical miracle isn't just random magic. It's a direct result of the Wuangrong Deluning Shang, the great fortune and virtue of King Wu himself.
King Wu's righteousness.
And the help of the Zheng Fu Shenqi, the god of increased blessings. Yangjian. He's a disciple of Yuding Zenren, a pretty high-level master. And what's striking is his first move. It's not an attack, it's a demand. He gets there, talks to Ziya, and says, basically, take down that no battle sign right away.
Exactly. It's a statement. He's basically saying, look, you can't adapt if you're hiding in fear. His point is, how can you figure out the enemy if you refuse to even engage? It's like a total mental reset for Ziya's side. And Ziya, he's thrilled. He sees this new energy and immediately orders the sign taken down.
Of course, the Mo generals spot this instantly. They've been sitting around, probably bored out of their minds for months, and now the sign's gone, so they rush out, ready for a fight. Yangjian rides out too. White horse, long spear, facing these 4 legends whose power is, like, immense.
They absolutely don't hesitate. But just before we see what happens to Yangjian, there's this really brutal moment. It shows you exactly what they're up against. There's another guy, Ma Chenglong.
Oh, right, the one delivering grain?
Yeah, just bringing supplies. But he's brave, maybe a bit reckless, and decides to charge in.
And he runs straight into maybe the nastiest of their magical tricks. Mo Li Shou's creature, the Huahu Diao, the flower fox sable, let's call it. Or just the sable.
Yeah.
Easier to track.
And this thing is pure left path magic, as the text calls it. It's not, righteous power. It's fueled by yin and yang energy manipulation. It can swell up, become huge, like the size of a white elephant.
Whoa.
Yeah. And its whole purpose,
Yeah.
it eats human hearts. It's designed to be terrifying.
So poor Ma Chenglong, all that courage, and bam, he's just swallowed. Halfway consumed by this giant sable. It's a harsh lesson, isn't it? Regular bravery, pure martial skill, totally useless against this kind of demonic magic.
Absolutely. His death sets the stakes. This isn't a normal war anymore. Then the generals unleash the sable again, and this time, Yangjian gets caught. Same thing, consumed halfway. Neza sees it happen.
Oh, man.
Yeah, he races back to Ziya, basically yelling, Yangjian's dead. The sable got him. And imagine the absolute despair.
Okay, hold on. So take down the sign, ride out bravely, and get eaten in 5 minutes. What was the point? This has to be where Yangjian's special training comes in, right? He's not actually dead.
That's the twist. He didn't die. The Mo generals had zero idea who they just tried to feed to their pet. Yangjian had mastered the 9 revolutions arcane technique, the Juzhuan Lianju Yuan Gong, and the 72 transformations.
The 9 revolutions. That sounds intense. What does it do?
Think of it as like ultimate spiritual body armor. It made his physical form totally immune to internal harm, poison, digestion. None of that could touch him. He'd achieved this like purified, indestructible body.
So the best counter magic is just being immune. Wow. And he figures this out inside the creature.
Well, you already knew he was immune. But yeah, while he's in there, he overhears the generals. They're back in camp, drinking, celebrating, and planning to send the sable into Shiqi City to eat Ziya, to eat King Wu.
Oh, that's bad. That's really bad.
Instantly raises the stakes. So Yangjian decides, okay, time to end this. From the inside, he just reaches out, squeezes the sable's heart, kills it instantly.
Just like that.
Just like that. Then he emerges, literally splitting the creature's body in 2. It's a very graphic display of his internal power overcoming the external threat.
Okay, that's impressive. But it's not just about revenge, right? Ziya wants those other magic items neutralized.
Exactly. Ziya realizes, wait, this guy can survive being eaten. He can transform. Use that. So he tells Yangjian, use your transformation skill, get inside their camp, deal with their treasures.
And this is where the 72 transformations come in handy.
Absolutely. It's not just defense, it's infiltration. Yangjian transforms himself into the dead sable.
No way.
Yes way. Mo Li Shao, who's probably feeling pretty good after a few drinks.
Ape, the owner of the sable.
He sees the sable reappear, assumes it just failed his mission and came back tired, and scoops it up. Puts it right back into his leopard skin pouch. He has no idea Yangjian is now inside his bag.
Okay, this is getting good. A bit comical almost. So the generals are asleep.
Out cold. The text says snoring like thunder. It's around 4 a.m. Yangjian slips out of the pouch. He sees the other 3 treasures hanging on a hook in the tent, including the big one, the Hunyuan Zhenzu-san.
The cosmic chaos umbrella. That sounds important.
Oh, it is. It's their main weapon, controls wind, rain, cosmic forces. Chaos, basically. So Yangjian tries to grab all 3 items, but he's maybe a bit hasty.
Uh-oh.
He breaks the hook. The other items crash to the floor, makes a racket.
Oh, no, he blew it.
Almost.
Yeah.
Mo Li-hong wakes up, hears the noise.
The owner of the umbrella.
That's the one. But he's groggy, probably still drunk.
Yeah.
He just sees the hook fell down, doesn't even check if anything's missing.
You're kidding.
Nope, he just props the broken hook back up somehow and goes back to sleep.
So Yangjian's best weapon wasn't just his magic, it was bad security and too much wine.
Pretty much. Yeah. A huge lapse. So Yangjian grabs the most critical item, the umbrella, and gets out of there. He brings it back to Ziya. Imagine the relief. Their biggest magical threat is now in their hands. When the generals finally wake up properly, Mo Li-hong realizes the umbrella is gone. He completely loses it. Screaming, devastated, their great success is ruined.
Okay, so one major weapon down, thanks to Yangjian's sneaky transformation skills. But the fight's not over. There's another hero arriving, bringing a totally different kind of power.
Exactly. Now we get Huang Tianhua, and he's the son of General Huang Feihu, who's already fighting for Shi Qi.
Ah, the family connection.
Right. His arrival is super sudden. His master, this figure called King Zhudao Dezinjun, he just senses the trouble, feels a stirring in his heart, and summons Tianhua immediately.
And Tianhua comes prepared. His master gives him some serious gifts. 2 huge hammers, which apparently he just instantly knows how to use, feels perfectly clear about them. And this thing called a Huolong Biao, fire dragon dart, sounds nasty.
Very nasty. But just as important as his ride, his master lends him his personal mount, the Yuquilin, the jade unicorn.
A unicorn. Okay.
But not just any unicorn. This thing makes wind and clouds just by tapping its horn. It's incredibly fast, incredibly powerful. So Yangjian with stealth and transformation, Tianhua's pure, divinely boosted martial power and speed.
And for his father, Huang Feihu, this must be amazing. His son, back from intense Taoist training, ready to fight alongside him.
A huge morale boost, definitely a joyous reunion. But this leads to a little slip-up.
Oh, what happens?
Well, Tianhua's been training as an ascetic. Strict vegetarian diet, simple life in the mountains. But back at the palace, there's a feast, celebrations. And he eats meat. He enjoys the luxury. A small thing, maybe, but significant.
Interesting. And that ties into this next bit, which is kind of unexpected. It's about his clothes.
Yeah, the dress code incident. Tianhua, understandably, wants to look the part of a warrior.
Yeah.
So he takes off his simple Taoist robes and sash, puts on the full military gear, red robe, gold armor, helmet, looks magnificent.
But Ziya puts a stop to it.
Immediately. He pulls Tianhua aside and basically reads him the riot act. Yeah. Not harshly, but firmly. Ziya says, look, I hold high rank too, but I never forget where our real power comes from, Kunlun Mountain, our spiritual source.
He's worried Tianhua is getting caught up in the military glory and forgetting the spiritual side.
Precisely. Ziya tells him he must wear his Taoist silk sash, the Si Tao, over his armor. It's a constant reminder of his true identity, his spiritual foundation. Why? Because the Mo generals use left path magic. Their power comes from dubious sources, stolen items, weird creatures. It lacks true cultivation, true discipline.
I see. So Ziya is saying their power, the power of Kunlun disciples, comes from discipline, from purity. That sash isn't just cloth, it's a symbol of that connection.
Exactly. It's the source code almost.
Yeah.
And Tianhua forgets his roots, gets swayed by worldly things like armor and feasts. He might actually weaken the divine power flowing through him, the very power he needs to counter that left path magic.
Does Tianhua get it?
Instantly. He totally accepts the correction, says he just got dressed for the battle, wasn't forgetting his training, he puts the sash back on, and now he's the perfect image. The warrior monk. Divine weapons, military armor, but anchored by that spiritual symbol. He tells Ziya, with his master's gear and instructions, and remembering his roots, he has zero fear. He jumps on that jade unicorn, the Yuquilin, and rides out immediately, ready to face the 4 heavenly kings head on.